Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Post to Post. My name is Neil. Thank you so much for joining me today. We know we've basically talked about the Reverse Retro 1.0 series to death. This is essentially the last thing that I've not talked about, is ranking the uniforms as an entire league, the 31 teams, because obviously Seattle wasn't a part of the Reverse Retro #1 series. So of all the requests that I've gotten in the past couple of years, this is probably in the top 5 since they've come out. So I wanted to do it because time's running out here. We're coming up on Reverse Retro 2.0 being released, announced in the next within the next month, actually less than a month. So I felt like this was the last opportunity and maybe the best time to kind of put the Reverse Retro #1s to bed. Talk about the uniforms, give you my full and final ranking of the uniforms, and obviously have some fun. So I appreciate you joining me. I got the gold hat on here. You might need some sunglasses for this video. It's getting a little bright in here. But yeah, I appreciate you joining me. Get some snacks, get some drinks, and get ready for this official Reverse Retro uniform ranking. Let's start off with my least favorite, number 31, and that is going to be, bring it up on my screen here, the Detroit Red Wings. Now, this is probably not going to be a surprise for most people if you've followed the channel at all. You'll know that I wasn't really typically a fan of this jersey. What I think might be worse than the jersey is the actual uniform, and which is a shame because they have such an iconic brand. It is a brand that doesn't really change that much and doesn't need to change that much. So when you're going to take a little bit of a risk like this and you play it as simple as they did, it's almost too simple. You almost just kind of needed to create a version of, I guess, the away jersey, in the sense, the white jersey, but just like tweak it a little bit. I think this was too simplistic. It looked too much like a practice jersey, and it doesn't fit at all with this uniform, in my opinion. The red pants look very out of place. I think they should have been maybe the gray, but then that might have been a little bit too light. Did you put some black in there? I don't really know. They don't really have a lot of black or any black in their lineup or in their their graphical brand arsenal or whatever. But it kind of matches the NHL logo up there in the middle. So would it look okay in black? Could they introduce that into their brand, that the helmet would have to be black? To me, it just looks very out of place, being the red helmet and the red pants. So I'm not a fan of this jersey, #1, and uniform. Let's move on to the next one. Number 30 is the Dallas Stars. This should not be a shock to you guys as either. The Dallas Stars jersey was, I think, like just a missed opportunity. The perfect design, but poor execution. The logo is too white. You can barely see it. It's also a different white than the white on the actual jersey if you look really close. The star design is what we wanted, but we didn't want the bottom half of the jersey to be white also. And the pants being white in this uniform, this is a painter's uniform, okay? This isn't a great hockey uniform. I think this was a miss. I think the Dallas Stars maybe initially thought that it wouldn't be a miss. I mean, I have to assume that this is the design that they came up with, but I think it was very quickly known on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff, that a lot of people, the majority of people, do not like this uniform and do not like this jersey, and I am one of those people, actually. So yeah, that's the reason why it's ranked so low here. All right, let's get into the other ones. Number 29, I put the Ottawa Senators, and I do apologize for the quality of some of these photos. It was difficult to find photos that I could legally use as far as copyright goes. So this one was actually a screenshot from a video. Had a really hard time finding the Ottawa Senators photo. But this one is quite low just for one specific reason. It reminds me of a Santa Claus uniform, or a whole suit. Black pants, a bright red shirt. You get that black belt buckle that kind of goes down on the front. I love the brand. I love the retro thing that they went with. I love that it kind of matches their home in a way. It was a great decision, but it just reminds me so much of Santa Claus that every time I see it, that's all I think. So I had to rank it low. Number 28, the Montreal Canadiens, and honestly, it's very difficult to rank my favorite team this low. But I think objectively it has to be down below. If the pants were a different color, and by different I mean the proper shade of dark blue instead of the lighter blue with the same pants they wear in their normal home uniform, this would be easily probably top 5 for me. I think objectively, even if you don't like the Montreal Canadiens, you still have to really appreciate the jersey. But when you see it in the actual uniform and you see that the pants are the incorrect shade of blue, it completely ruins the uniform, in my opinion. And also, I think the helmet is just a shade off as well. So because of the inconsistencies in this uniform, I cannot, in good conscience, rank this any higher than my bottom 5. So there you have it. The Montreal Canadiens are in my bottom 5 here in the 20th position. Number 27, I put the Islanders. And honestly, this doesn't really have anything to do with anything specific that I dislike about the uniform or the jersey. I think the jersey's fine. I think the uniform is fine as well. It's just they played it so safe that it just looks so similar to the actual home uniform and home jersey that it doesn't stand out at all. I think for the majority of fans, I would say that. I would say, for a good portion of the fans, if they weren't familiar with, following jerseys and collecting jerseys and stuff, if they saw the Islanders play a game with this uniform on, they might just assume that it's their home jersey. That's how close it is. So I think maybe missed opportunity for the Islanders as well. Like I said, nothing wrong with it, just doesn't really stand out at all. Number 27, the Arizona Coyotes. Now, from this point on, I had a really, really hard time actually ranking this, probably up to like the low teens. If I was to rank this, a week from now, all these middle grade teams would likely kind of shuffle up a little bit. So don't really take anything from this point on too seriously. Don't get too upset. But the Arizona Coyotes, I love the jersey individually. Fantastic jersey, one of my favorite reverse retros. One of the ones that I'll never sell is in my collection. Actually, it's right behind me there. But I don't love it in the uniform. I think maybe it would be interesting to see maybe a purple helmet, I guess, but then it would maybe clash with the black pants. I'm not sure. I don't love the socks either. So I guess I can kind of, wrap this one up as just something that, a few things I would change, but nothing I really hate at all. This could easily be 15th next week. Number 25, the Buffalo Sabres, kind of for the same reason. I mean, it's a fine uniform. There's nothing wrong with it. If I rank these again in a week, it might be a little bit higher. It's just a fine uniform. The beautiful colors. You got the butter knives on the front. You've got the goat head logo on the shoulder, which looks amazing. It's just an okay uniform, in my opinion. Number 24, the Philadelphia Flyers. Not a great image here, but the Flyers reverse retro was, I don't think, loved by many and not hated by many either. It was just kind of one that just floated off into the distance. Not really a lot of people talked about it. Not really a lot of people collected it. It just kind of existed, I guess. And that's kind of how I feel about the uniform as well. Doesn't look bad by any means, but it's not a standard uniform, and it doesn't really get me that excited. So I'll put it 24th. Number 23. Hey, look, it's the Vegas Golden Knights. So if you follow my channel, then you'll know that I actually don't really like this jersey. The only reason that I have it is because I've committed to collecting all of the Vegas Golden Knights jerseys as they release. From the start of the franchise, they started their journey 6 months after I started my journey on YouTube, and I visited Vegas. Wonderful, beautiful city. Love the people there. Love the arena. And I committed to myself that I would collect all jerseys that Vegas come out with. So the gold one came out, I got that. Reverse retro came out, got that. The upcoming reverse retro, I will be buying that as well. So this reverse retro, I think the uniform is way better than the jersey. I don't love the jersey, but in the uniform, it's definitely better. But I still don't love it. I still don't love it. I don't love the angled design down there. But yeah, definitely better in uniform than it is a jersey. Number 22, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Interesting picture here. I got off their Twitter, and they've actually photoshopped Austin Matthews into kind of an old school photo in the background to kind of, give some representation of their design and their decision behind their design. I thought that was a really cool approach by the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's not easy saying nice things about the Toronto Maple Leafs, but as a Canadiens fan, objectively, every once in a while I got to do it, and this is one of those times. So good job on this photoshopping here, Toronto. But this uniform is. I guess the uniform is better than the jersey, but I still don't love either. I think the fact that they changed the number design or the number colorization on the back of the jersey after a couple of games because they realized that people were having a hard time seeing it was an interesting decision. So there were mistakes with this uniform. Obviously, you can't see the back of the jersey here, but it's just okay. I think they could have done better. Maybe a missed opportunity as well. Number 21, the New Jersey Devils. I actually couldn't find any photo that I could legally use as far as copyright on the channel. So I had to go with this very low quality kind of NHL uniform database graphic here. But you've got the New Jersey Devils, bringing back the original 1982 colors. It's the kind of the last thing that they could possibly do. So I understand the decision behind why they did it. It wasn't my favorite jersey. It's not my favorite uniform. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just okay. It's just one of those uniforms. Number 20, the Vancouver Canucks. I think individually, I love the jersey. I love the gradient. I didn't when it first came out, but once I saw it in person, I was like, I really, really did start to appreciate the jersey. But I think the uniform is just okay. It doesn't, it doesn't really tickle my fancy too much. It's just an okay uniform. It doesn't really stand out that much. Number 19, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think I am in the minority here. I think the majority of people would have this very low in their totem pole, jersey and possibly uniform. I like both. I actually like the jersey. I like the uniform. There's great balance with it and stuff. It's not the best uniform that I've ever seen. It doesn't scream Columbus Blue Jackets to me. They're called the Blue Jackets and they're wearing a red jersey, so I understand the confliction there. But I still like it. But I still didn't like it enough to put it in my top 15. I will be selling this jersey, by the way. If you're interested, keep an eye out for that jersey selling video coming soon. Number 18, the Anaheim Ducks. One of the most creative and bold decisions I think any of the teams made during the Reverse Retro series with the jersey, a full sublimation print jersey, not a crest on the front, kind of like this one. They just went for it, and I love that. And I love the fact that they've got the silly kind of font on there as well, very playful jersey. So I really like that they did that. I don't love the fact that the gloves are a different shade than the pants. They should be the same shade. Even the socks are a little bit different. So I don't want to completely blame the Anaheim Ducks on this or Adidas. But for example, the pants are Bauer and the gloves, so there's a Warrior one there's a Bauer one, but even the Bauer gloves aren't the same shade as the Bauer pants. it kind of messes with me a little bit. So I like the uniform. I just don't love the fact that they didn't get the exact colors right on all the equipment. But I understand there's probably some logistical issues there, but they're close, just not perfect. Number 17, the San Jose Sharks. So this is my second favorite team, and I think objectively, this is probably exactly where it needs to be in most people's ranking, kind of right in the middle. It's not one that a lot of people loved, kind of like the Flyers one. It's not a lot of people, not many people hated this either. So I think a lot of people would have it in their middle ground. That's where it is in mine. It's just kind of average all the way around. Nothing wrong with it, nothing amazing about it. Just, it is what it is. Number 16, kind of like the Devils one, I couldn't find a photo I could legally use for as far as copyright. So the Rangers here, we've got the NHL Uniform Database one. Pretty good uniform for the most part. I think they could have done something a little bit different with the pants. I believe they just used their home pant design. Maybe something a little bit more of a different shade of red or something. I thought it was okay for the most part. Not my favorite uniform, one of my favorite jerseys. Number 15, the Calgary Flames. One of the actually reverse retro jerseys I did not collect. I did not get blasty. It's a lot of black, but I love the pants. So I'm conflicted. The pants, that kind of staged, almost pedestal style graphic there on the side of the pants, I love it. It makes me very nostalgic. But it's a lot of black going all the way up. So I'm definitely conflicted about this, and I did decide to put it kind of, essentially in the exact middle of the pack here. Moving on to number 14, I put the Winnipeg Jets, and I believe a lot of people will disagree with me on this one. I think if they were to come out with their own reverse retro uniform ranking, this would be in maybe their, the bottom 10, bottom 5 actually. I don't think a lot of people love this jersey. I thought the jersey was okay. I think it looked way better in uniform. Now, there is a bit of a shade issue, kind of like the Anaheim one. The pants are the incorrect shade to the rest of the blue and the dark blue in the shoulders and stuff, but it's not like egregiously bad. I think it's acceptable for the most part. It's not, it's not top 10 worthy, but I still think this jersey looks way better in uniform. So for me, I kind of had to rank this in the top 15 because I do think it looks just way better in uniform than it does in singular jersey. Number 13, the Nashville Predators. So as far as jerseys, my favorites to own, this was likely maybe number 1 as far as the reverse retro goes because it's so comfortable to wear. Different material up on the shoulders, underneath the arm as well, along the sides. Incredible jersey to own. If you can get your hands on it, please do. Not sure if it's still sold anywhere. But as far as the uniform, I thought it was, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good uniform. Nothing really to complain too much about here, but it didn't, it's not that different than the actual home jersey. It's still primarily yellow, so the uniform looks very similar. But, I wanted to give it some credit here, put it in the top 15. I do like it. Number 12, the St. Louis Blues. I think a lot of people will disagree with me here as well. I think a lot of people would have this in their bottom 10, bottom 5. Not many people loved the bright red McDonald's kind of style look of this jersey or uniform, but I actually really liked it. I think I like it because I'm that 90s kid, right? I'm very nostalgic towards this design, the blue alternate, which they have, which is amazing, and this one as well. So I really, really like these. I think I know that I'm in the minority. But yeah, just one of those ones that I personally like, right? Number 11, we've got the Florida Panthers. Now, the Florida Panthers really kind of hit a home run with their reverse retro. I think a lot of people absolutely loved it because of the logo on the front. I don't know if it had so much to do with the rest of the design of the jersey. It's just the fact that they brought back that original style logo and didn't use their current one, which a lot of people don't like. They used a darker blue, which is very complementary to the red. It looks awesome. The pants was, the colorization of the pants, going with the dark blue instead of the black was a good decision. The socks, the dark pants just come right down into the darkness of the top of the socks. Just great transition as far as color with this uniform. They did a great job. Number 10, the Tampa Bay Lightning, one of the jerseys that I unfortunately did not collect. But again, great transition here. That classic Tampa Bay jersey that we all wanted. Blue, white, black, and then black into the pants. So great transition there. I really like that a lot. I thought this was a standout uniform in the NHL. Number 9, the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe a little bit actually lower than most people would have it. I like the jersey. I really like the uniform. I think the uniform is better than the jersey, but I still don't, this isn't a top tier one for me, and I absolutely know that I'm in the minority, and a lot of people love this. It's their number 1, so I think people will disagree with me here having it in number 9, but it's definitely top 10. Number 8, the Chicago Blackhawks. I think a very underrated, not only reverse retro jersey, but reverse retro uniform. I love the Blackhawks, seeing them in actual black jerseys. The Winter Classic was great, but it's just black and white. But if we get this with a little bit of that touch of red in there, complemented with the black, It looks so good. So I'm a big fan of not only that jersey, but this uniform. Definitely top 10 worthy for me. Number 7, the Boston Bruins. Also another team that I have difficulty saying nice things about as a Canadiens fan. But I think, objectively, this is a beautiful uniform. The right amount of black, the right amount of yellow. It's one of the few yellow jerseys I actually really like. It looks so good on the ice. Just the balance was perfect. I pretty much loved everything about this jersey and uniform. So great job on this one, Boston. Number 6, the Edmonton Oilers. When I first saw the jersey, I was like, yeah, okay, that's pretty close to the away jersey. It's not a drastic amount of things different. But then I saw it in person. I'm like, okay, I appreciate this a little bit more. And then obviously watching it in games and stuff, I'm like, okay, I kind of dig the orange pants. They're a little bit funky, but they match well with the shoulders. And the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. So I think from a uniform perspective, they knocked it out of the park here. It's not a perfect jersey, but as a uniform, I really, really like what they did. Number 5, the Washington Capitals. And by the way, the Capitals jersey behind me here, I will be selling it for cheaper than anything on eBay. So keep an eye out for that. If you're interested, it's at Adidas. It's size 50. It's blank. I've worn it maybe, 3 times, something like that. I've never worn it outside this room or outside videos. So it's in literally perfect condition. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for that video. I will be we'll be releasing that pretty soon. But as far as their uniform here, it is fantastic. I mentioned earlier, I'm very nostalgic. And when I see this design, I'm thinking Ovechkin in his early year, maybe his rookie year. I think maybe it was the only year that he used this, not this colorization. But I also think of Yager and Olaf Kozeg, and just some brilliant names back in those days, back in the late 90s and stuff. And I love this design. So it's not my favorite color combination. I wish they had gone with the original colors. Keep an eye out in the future for the next one. But I love what they did. It's a beautiful, beautiful jersey and uniform. Number 4, I think the Pittsburgh Penguins reverse retro uniform is criminally underrated. I think a lot of people kind of brush it off a little bit. It's just another one of those jerseys that has the text coming down. I don't disagree with that. I think that's an accurate kind of opinion there. A little bit lazy, but it pays back to their history and stuff. But it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot of letters. I mean, Pittsburgh's a long word. It's a lot on a jersey. But on the uniform, it doesn't not just look so right. It complements so nicely with the gloves. The bottom of the jersey runs down into the black gloves. The pants, the striping on the pants matches the striping at the bottom of the jersey. The helmet, everything just flows so perfectly, I think, on this uniform. And I just think it's brilliant. I don't love the jersey individually, okay? But I love the uniform. I just think they nailed it. Number 3, up at the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, go back to nostalgia reasons. I grew up in the 90s. I actually got to see the Hartford Whalers play back in 1994, I believe, in the old Montreal Forum. And obviously they didn't wear this uniform because this is a reverse retro. But they wore something similar. And I have to appreciate the Whalers brand. The logo is brilliant. Their colors are awesome. So I love the fact that Carolina went in this direction. I was a little surprised that they did because they had the green alternate. I think they've played the whole Hartford Whalers thing to death by now. But yeah, no question, this was an amazing, amazing uniform. Number 2, for basically the same reason, the Minnesota Wild here just completely hit a home run on this uniform. The jersey by itself, very Subway, but the uniform, seeing it on ice was just incredible. I think they played a game against LA where LA wore the purple ones and Minnesota wore these white ones, and it was just it was one of the best visual clashes in the NHL in probably 30 or 40 years. It was just amazing to see. Their uniform was fantastic. The stars on the pants, great, paying great respect to the Minnesota North Stars. Great stuff. And number 1, through process of elimination, if you haven't been tracking, the LA Kings. Not only they're my favorite jersey, but that's my favorite uniform. Purple, yellow, it's all back. The original kind of brand. It's bold, it's in your face, it's colorful, it's vibrant. I love it. I love everything about it. There's not a single thing I would change about this entire uniform. Not the pants, not the socks, not the gloves, not the helmet, not the jersey, nothing, okay? Nothing. I love this, but I understand that, there is no right or wrong. It's all subjective, and your ranking list should be completely different than mine. I say this all the time. If I release these ranking videos, and people get upset that, I've ranked a certain team in a certain position or something. If I rank something and it's exact same as everything else, as everyone else feels and thinks, how boring would that be if we all like the exact same thing? I think it's good that people disagree, and it's good that people have different visual opinions and rank things differently. That's what makes it fun. There's no right or wrong, right? So if you want to leave your ranking down below, I would love to read it. Love to hear your thoughts on some of the uniforms. Do you think I placed any incorrectly? Hey, let me know. I'm totally fine with those comments. And this video should really put a nail in the coffin, put to bed the conversation around the first edition of the Reverse Retro 1.0 jerseys and uniforms. Now we can fully concentrate on the upcoming Reverse Retro 2.0 series. We've done lots of prediction videos. I've leaked some news going back even to February. We're talking about leaks. Like the time is now for the next Reverse Retro series coming up. We'll be talking about it lots. If you want to tune in for that, please hit the subscribe button down below. There's lots of conversation to happen. Talking other hockey too, so we'd love to have you on board. If you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button and have a great day. Adios.